Hi, this is a short video to explain how to prepare for weekly recall tests. You will be needing your STB. This is a Year 7 STB, and you will need to have some homework set by a teacher. Now let's imagine that this is this week's homework set by the teacher, and the teacher has asked you to learn on this page the first 12 questions. So the first 12 questions for the week. And the first thing you might want to do is think about how long that might take you to learn those 12 questions. So some students can learn 12 questions in one go. I don't necessarily advise it because it's more quickly forgotten. And lots of students will need to break those 12 questions up into little chunks. Now let's imagine you struggle to learn things a little bit or to remember things, and therefore you want to break your questions up, your 12 questions up into 3 equal chunks. So let's just concentrate on these questions here. So I've got my first 4 questions. Now, the first thing I want to do is work out a way of how we're going to remember that. Now, I recommend that you use a whiteboard. You don't have to use a whiteboard, you can use paper if you want to, or you can use revision cards if you like, but using a whiteboard tends to be one of the quickest ways to do it. And the first thing you're going to do is just read through the questions and the answers. So I'm going to do this out loud. I suggest you do the same unless you can hear yourself in your head. So it's, what is a force? And it says a push or a pull on an object. What are forces measured in? That is newtons. What are contact forces? Give examples. The objects are touching for the force to act. So that's what is meant by a contact force. And the examples are friction, air resistance, tension, and normal contact force. And my 4th question is, what are non-contact forces? Give examples. The objects do not need to touch for the force to act. And the examples are magnetic force, gravitational force, electrostatic force. So I've read it. I'm going to take my whiteboard and I'm going to cover everything apart from the first question. And now I'm going to reread the question. What is a force? I know the answer to that one is a push or a pull. So I've done my first question. I'm just going to check to see if I got it right. A push or a pull on an object. That's cool. The most important bit is the bit underlined there. Second question, careful not to show the answer. What are forces measured in? That is newtons. And that's capital N. So I know that one as well. Move to question number 3. What are contact forces? Give examples. Now, I'm struggling a bit now because I can't remember my definition of a contact force. So what I'm going to do is just rub out the answers I've got so far. I'm going to have a little read again. So contact force. The objects are touching for the force to act. And the examples are friction, air resistance, tension, and normal contact force. So again, cover it up. So contact force, forces are touching the force to act, and then the examples, e.g. friction, air resistance, and I've forgotten again, tension and normal contact force. I'm just going to put tension down, I think, so 3 is going to be plenty there. So I've done that one, and then I move to the last one. What are non-contact forces? I'm going to rub this out. And I know what non-contact forces are now, I think, because I've just learned my definition up there. So non-contact forces are objects don't need to touch for force to act. And the examples, I can't remember our examples, a quick sneaky look, magnetic force, gravitational force, and electrostatic force. Cover it up. So e.g. magnetic, gravitational, and electrostatic. Now notice I'm just kind of scribbling the answers down there as I'm doing them. What's not important is my handwriting. What is more important is that I'm remembering them as quickly as I can. So I've done all those now. So what I might do, I could either do that again. So I could either just go back to the beginning and just do it again, or I could get somebody to quiz me. Now, quizzing is called peer testing. So lots of students like to go to peer testing next. So you might take your questions, you might go to your mother, your father, brother or sister or something and ask them to ask you the questions. If you get them to ask you the questions, first of all, it might make sense to do it in order. So start doing it in order just to help you out a little bit. And then when you get more confident, we'd switch you to random. So you might do question number 3, and then question number 2, and then question number 1, and then question number 4. And that way it gets you a little bit more flexible with your learning. So that would be, and once you've done that, you think, oh, I'm relatively confident, you've done your homework for the day, you've learned the first 4 questions. What happens next then, obviously, on the following day, or maybe you'll miss a day, maybe you don't want to do it on the next day, maybe you don't want to miss a day and go to the day after that, you would go to the next 4 questions. And you would learn questions 5 to 8 here. And their answers in exactly the same way. Self-testing with your whiteboard, peer testing verbally. But what you do then is you would get somebody to test you on all of those questions. So when they do a verbal testing of you, they would maybe do them all in order and then get you to do them out of order. And you can see there how we layer the 8 questions over the 2 days. You'll suddenly have 8 questions and answers in your head very quickly. And then as you transition through the week, you'll be able to remember them all. It works. Try it out. If you have any problems, come and see your teacher.